Normally the government of the day treads very carefully around commenting on the RBA rate movements. One front bench has been making a few statements that have led to some criticism from the opposition and others, Andrew.
And a lot of questions around whether he's got the sort of wink and nod to do this, Stephen Jones, or not. But the Assistant Treasurer has been out there saying that the Reserve Bank should not be lifting rates anymore. This is what he said to Peter Stefanovic last week.
We think inflation has peaked. We think what's already in the system should do the job to ensure that we can dampen down demand. I'm hoping that if this is not the last, it's near the last of the rate increases.
And so this was Jones stepping back from that, again with Peter Stefanovic this morning, and Finance Minister Katy Gallagher here in estimates, also distancing herself from ministers telling the Reserve Bank what to do.
Phil Lowe has had a really tough job to do through some of our most challenging circumstances, the pandemic, the recovery. It's not my job, and I don't intend to be providing assessments of the Reserve Bank Governor.
Well, it's not the government's job to second-guess the decisions of the RBA.
So you don't have an opinion on
I don't think it's particularly useful for government ministers to be having views on an independent board making decisions about monetary policy.
So predictably, Philip Lowe was asked about this today, but he flat batted it away as well, saying it's a free country. Stephen Jones can say what he likes.
Before, it's a free country and people are free to be able to express their views on issues. It's up to each of us how we choose to exercise the freedom we have. So the Treasurer of the day doesn't comment on monetary policy. That served the country well, and I would observe that Treasurer Chalmers has not discussed monetary policy. And the risks at the moment are two-sided. There is a risk that the tightening of policy that's taken place does dampen spending more than we think. We don't have a perfectly clear crystal ball. So there is a risk there. So I understand why people have focused on the risk. But there is a risk on the other side. There is a risk that we have not yet done enough with interest rates and spending is more resilient and that inflation stays high.
Philip Lowe was also pretty keen to say at this hearing that there were 9 members of the Reserve Bank Board who made decisions. It wasn't just me. It isn't just me, he said. It was unfair that he gets all the flack.
It's not just me. I find sometimes the fact that it's all sheeted down to me is a bit unfair, but it's not just me making these decisions. There are 9 people based on the advice of a large staff. I'm not complaining about it. That's our job. I've got to contain inflation. It's easier for me to do unpopular things than it is for maybe some of you. I don't know. But no, I'm not complaining. It's our job.